want harmony and friendship, not conflict and strife. We are guided by outcomes, not ideology. We have a policy of principled realism rooted in shared goals, interests, and values.
The threat is simply too large to ignore any longer. Our policy with respect to the DPRK is really quite clear, and that is the complete and verifiable denuclearization of the Korean Peninsula. It is a policy that is shared by others in the region. In fact, that is China's policy as well.
When Secretary Tillerson came in, he made clear to all of us that if everything's a priority, nothing's a priority, and our priority is the defeat of ISIS. One of his first major events here at the State Department was gathering almost 70 countries here at the State Department from our global coalition. It's now one of the largest coalitions of its kind ever assembled in history, with 74 members. And we all gathered here in March really to map out the next phase of the campaign over what is now the last 10 months, particularly Mosul and Raqqa. The Secretary also made the decision very early on to deploy a small team of experts from the State Department into Syria to work with our military partners as we got into the campaign.
Now, this is a regional approach, and part of why this effort took as long as it did is we chose not to just focus on Afghanistan, but we undertook a fairly comprehensive review of our relationships in Pakistan and our relationship with India. And we see this approach as requiring an integration of all three of those strategies and use Pakistan, India to also bring pressure to bear on the situation in Afghanistan.
We've also enhanced cross-border communications to work more effectively and efficiently together. We share more information related to migration and border security, enabling us to better identify criminal threats, analyze migration trends, and reduce human smuggling on both sides of the border.
Under President Trump, the United States remains committed to our enduring relationship with Europe. Our security commitments to European allies are ironclad. If we are to sustain the shared security commitments that ensure stability in the region, the Trump administration views it as necessary for our allies to be strong, sovereign, prosperous, and committed to the defense of shared Western ideals.
I'd also like to say thanks to all of our colleagues across the world for working so hard in 2017. We've had so many acting people who've stepped up and done some very difficult jobs, and just wanted to thank them and their families for supporting them in the work.